Hi, I'm Brian Neese, Artistic Director of Lumen Repertory Theater. And today, I'm having a conversation with Michael Jacobs, the Emmy-nominated writer, creator, producer behind many well-loved TV shows, movies, etc. He's also the writer and director of Harlan and Bronna Jump Out the Window, the world premiere production happening right here, produced by Lumen Repertory Theater, where we believe Jacksonville is ready for more. So if you're ready for more, let's get into it. Welcome, Michael.
Hey.
It's good to have you in Jacksonville.
Nice to be here.
So, you're debuting a brand new work for the theater through Lumen Rep Theater. Why this piece? Why this story? Why now?
I got a call from your board president, Rob Edenson.
I've gotten those before. Was it a good one?
It was okay.
Okay.
I hadn't spoken to him for a long time. And out of nowhere, he said, I'm the president of a board of an equity theater in Jacksonville, Florida, which I thought was great because when last I saw him, he was a spear carrier in Richard III in my senior year of high school. And the reason he got the job was because the director, our Mr. Bob Stevens, said, we need more men. We need more men to hold spears. Michael, go find some. And as soon as I walked out of the theater, Rob is walking down the high school hallway. And I said, Rob, can you hold a spear? And he went. And I said, you're cast. He said, I'm cast? I said, yes, in a play. And that little fortuitous meeting has led to a life of Rob loving the theater. He became a director himself. He taught in school. And when he spoke to me, he asked, would you work with us, our theater? And I said, tell me about your theater. He told me about you. He told me about what you aspire to do. And I said, I would be flattered and honored. And in coming down here and meeting you and learning what it is you want to do with this place, I'm happy to contribute.
That's great. Well, we're honored to have you.
Thanks.
This story, Harlan and Bronna Jump Out the Window, sort of gives away a little bit in the title on purpose. It's funny. It's devastating at parts. It's surprising. What is the point of this particular story and the approach that you've taken theatrically to tell it?
It's really interesting. As I've grown older, I used to approach the news of the world with lightness. I was skeptical that what I was being told was what was happening. But what I always thought was that we were well protected because I figured we were in good hands. The sun comes up in the morning, no matter what the news is, we go about our day. As I got older, I wanted to trust more. And the reason for that was because I had grown to realize that we may not be in as good hands as I thought. And that the world turns on fractionated greed and want and desire. But there's so many good people. Yeah. And I had an idea. And the idea was that if we were being told that the entire scientific community says we are expending our resources, and the entire government community says it's okay, somebody's right, somebody's wrong. And I thought, what's the metaphor? And I said it in New York. I said it in a high-floor penthouse-type apartment with wealthy people who are being told that they've expended their resources. They are down to their last $1 million.
Bless their hearts.
For anybody else is good news, but for them was devastating. And there's an explanation from their financial advisor, which begins the play, that says, I'm going to teach you how to live on this money in New York which means they get 7-8% interest, which means they get $70,000-$80,000 a year, which they're accustomed to spending in a week.
Yeah.
So she decides, after hearing out the financial advisor, that what might be more fun is to spend their money as fast as they can and jump out the window. And the metaphor, of course, is that no matter how much we are told that the expenditure of resources comes at a cost, what we do is hit the accelerator.
Yeah.
And I have a dilemma. The dilemma is, how is this funny? And so I thought, if I could draw two characters that we absolutely hated, which are, I used everything I could, you Google what not to put in a play. White privilege, wealth, financial advisors. And I just throw it at you. And then you can, as the audience, divest yourself of any realization that we can associate with these characters at all. We are not that. We hate them. They are heinous.
And we might enjoy watching their downfall.
That's right. Until we realize they're us. And the rooting interest, like I said before, in this world of where expressions are coined like fake news.
Yeah.
And when you first hear it, you think, that's awful. That's a way to divest of it. And then you go, what is accurate? What is not accurate? Not that it's fake, but why is there clickbait? Why? So in the end of this play, you absolutely love these people. And you realize that we are all of a kind, no matter how separate we are, because we all live in this fishbowl.
Yeah. And we all consume.
And that consumption has cost us a bit of our humanity, because it's not just our footprint in the world, it's the fact that we're sinking in it.
Yeah.
And I again, what had to happen was, to make this an entertainment, to make this a play, it has to be funny from start to finish.
Yeah.
Now, as you say, and I thank you for it, there are devastating parts of the play. But for the most part, it's really enjoyable to see their downfall.
Yeah. You've chosen to tell this story through theater, and obviously Lumen Rep wouldn't be part of it otherwise, because that's what we do.
Right.
This story could easily fit in some sort of mini-series on a streaming service. It could be a movie. But you've chosen, at least this initial telling of it, to embrace theater. So why theater? What are you doing in the writing, directing of it to sort of embrace the tools, the tricks, the magic of theater in telling this story?
Oh, because I'm a masochist. Every writer is a bit of a masochist, but in particular I am, because what I would do would be want to be a playwright and want to be in theater always. And I wrote a play when I was 20 or 21, and it got to Broadway when I was 22. And it ran 3 months. And actually, that one didn't run 3 months. The second one ran this one ran a month on Broadway. And New York said to me, goodbye. And I left and went to television and was successful in television. And came back and tried a second play. And that one ran 3 months, and New York said goodbye. And so I, love television, but obviously like getting my head shoved up my ass a lot more, because what I do is keep writing plays. And the realization that I had a long time ago, and I was, all my television was in front of a live audience. We don't have a national theater.
No, we don't. No.
Fortunately or unfortunately, some of TV is our national theater. The popularity of situation comedy in the 70s, 80s, 90s was, and it produced All in the Family. It produced communication devices that the entire country talked about for a long time. And what writers could do would be to espouse opinion about not only political situation, but social situation that made an audience come. And you know, you read flowery phrases like, television is the mirror of reflection of society. Crap. What was successful is what was brought more of. Can there be a Friends clone? You know, what can we do now like All in the Family? The good news was we had Norman Lear, who was able to time and again replicate, because there was a passion for, you know, he was not only a bit of a truth seeker, but he just had this remarkably deft way of showing us who we were. I learned from it because that's when I was growing up. If I can write characters that I can manipulate an audience to despise to the point of the characters knowing that the audience despises them and asks for their own assassination by the audience. My fear for this piece is that someone actually might, but the interest that the audience has goes on a trajectory, and the realization that we have brought ourselves to this. That's well worth seeing.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. I love the way this piece breaks the fourth wall. We've talked about that, where we are not just observers that are practicing cognitive dissonance and a willing suspension of disbelief, all of these things you expect in theater, but we become, whether we want to or not, participants in this, in not only the story of Harlan and Bronna and their journey, but also the story making itself, which I think is very unique. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure,
about
I'd love to.
Building the world?
I know exactly when that happened. I was sitting at the keyboard, the computer keyboard, and they have to meet humanity for the play to change. They never have. There's a party sequence wherein we don't even have anyone else on the stage. It's them. They illustrate for the audience that they're unable to hear or see anybody else in the world anyway. So it is up to us to imagine what's in their apartment. But more importantly, it sets up a ribbon. You know, it's I learned it a long time ago from a much better writer than me, and I've always, you know, used it. You hang a ribbon and then you pull the ribbon later, and an audience is charmed by that because if it's set up correctly, they remember it, and it becomes one piece from beginning. And if you want the audience to remember something that happened earlier so you can get to the end, it's the best way to do it. And my thought was, how do I get them to meet the humanity that I want them to meet and have it be powerful enough and effective enough so that the audience gets that they are that humanity? And the way we did it was the actual crew of the play, the costume designer, the set designer, the lighting designer, sound engineer, all of the people that bring you the play are, for lack of better examples, the clerk behind a store counter, a cashier, a waiter, people that are part of your world in the service community that you, for the most part, ignore or expect that you will be taken care of, which is heinous. And my thought was, if you're an actor in a play, who is taking care of you? And it is that crew. Why not have the crew take care of these actors in full view of the audience, and the actors not recognize that these are the people who have taken care of them through the entire production? And when I had that thought, it was like a Wile E. Coyote, you super genius. And so I thought, boy, how perfect it is, because we don't have to, we can use who we have, the actual crew.
Yeah.
Don't want to cast that. Don't want to, you know, let the people who are obviously non-actors dress, props. It seems to be working beautifully to the point where you and I are now.
I was about to say, yeah.
Good to please say it.
Yeah, it's a great device writing-wise, but then when we get into the minutia of rehearsal, we realize, oh, this has opened up a whole new world where we can do some things, not just for the sake of doing them, but because it serves the piece so well. So it's been a fantastic device.
Well, last night in rehearsal, a young woman, and an integral part of the scene, important that the audience understood that, walked through the set, and I turned to you and went, "Genius, did you do that?" And I think that you wanted to say, "Yes, I did."
I wanted
but
to take credit.
what you said was, "No, it was a person that worked here," and we both were riveted by it. And during an extraordinarily important communication device that the audience had to get, we got it, but that happened, and I think we both knew that this is going to work.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Very fun to explore that. Let's talk a little bit briefly about kind of what Lumen Rep is trying to do here in Jacksonville. As the only equity-affiliated, not-for-profit theater company, we obviously invest in people. I've said from the beginning, we try to take big swings, and that means a lot of things. That means we're not going to be doing, I don't want to disparage anyone's favorite theatrical piece, but pick your musical that's done all the time, every year by everybody. We don't do that kind of thing necessarily. We do try to do some more mainline stalwarts of American and European theater from time to time, but we try to create new pieces, and that's why this has been such a great gift to create new work with you and through you. I wonder if, I've heard you talk about that's important. Someone who you've spent your career in LA, New York, why is professional equity-affiliated regional theater in Northeast Florida, why the hell would that be important?
Well, there's two parts to that question. First, I want to explore the deep cut part of it, which is, so you go to a James Taylor concert and you play Fire and Rain, and he's gonna, Hello Dolly is gonna play somewhere, Gypsy is gonna play somewhere. You don't want to do that. That doesn't mean that you don't have tremendous respect for how difficult it is for any production in any theater to be successful at all, let alone the stalwarts of the American musical theater. We get that going in. But the deeper cuts on the album, Fire and Rain, nobody argues it, but if you ever listen to the lyrics of Copperline, those words in that song about a mythical, mystical place he grew up, and then he went back, what is the lyric? As if I could, tore up good, okay? And the end of the song, it says, lay me down on Copperline. So he invents a place. That song has always stuck with me. When I think of James Taylor, I always think of that song. When I think of the great plays in theater, they are not well known. Everybody knows Our Town. Please never stop doing Our Town. I was speaking this morning about David Cromer's version of Our Town, where we realized we were in the cemetery and we realized that we were dead. Like Emily, we went through the play as her, with her. And when she came back to life, so did we. There were lighting changes. There were sound changes. There were smells from the kitchen. Never stopped doing that play. But when I asked you what plays you were thinking of doing next season, it's thrilling because this rep company is dedicated to not only picking out those deep cuts, but doing them well, which would attract any artist to come here and want to work with you. It doesn't mean that you should only do the deep
Right.
cuts, because then there is no Fire and Rain.
Right.
And if there is no Fire and Rain, no one's buying the album.
Yes, yeah,
But
it's important.
Yeah, if you do one entertaining piece that is known, which brings you to the place, and then you go, I'm in good hands here. I'll come see whatever they do. I think that's the way to form a successful rep company. So, at some point, I am going to fly in to watch you direct Gypsy, but until such
that'll be a while.
until such time, you're picking out great stuff.
Thanks, Michael. Well, what do we not know about Harlan and Bronna that we might need to know before we come to see this play? Anything?
Well, what I would say is this: there's, and I'm blunt and honest here. You're worried about casting. You're thinking, should I bring in people? It's a play. I'm trying it out. I don't know if it's got a future life, or if there is a future life, or what's going to happen to it. But you always have hopes. And so, who are the people that are going to best represent? And we had a conversation. And we were talking about a couple of names. And then we both said, let's cast it out of Jacksonville. We are an equity company. Let's cast our actors here. Let's trust them. I think the greatest relief that I had, if the play works, great. If it doesn't work, that'll be funny too. But if the experience that we're having with Karen and Jeff and Bill and Flynn and Josh and whatever crew we decide is going to occupy the rest of the cast, their passion and they're wanting to get every moment right. Yeah. My favorite moment of the entire rehearsal process so far is Karen Conzen last night saying to me, let me get it, before I was turning to her and she knew, and she went, let me get, because she wanted to.
Yeah.
And she wanted to get it organically, a moment,
right.
A single moment, not a concept. That's who you want to work with.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're building something special. We're honored that you're a part of it. Thanks for this, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for today's conversation. If you'd like to have a conversation with Michael Jacobs, you can get tickets to the opening night gala, September 19th, right here at Betsy Lovett Hall in Good Shepherd Episcopal Church. Harlan and Bronna Jump Out the Window goes all the way through October 4th. Visit lumenrep.org for more. Lumen Rep Theater. Be moved.